Well, it looks like someone is getting some relief in the allegation case against Rex Heuermann, of course, accused of being the Gilgo Beach serial killer, Long Island serial killer. And that person getting a little bit of relief, financial relief, is Asa Ellerup. That is the wife of accused Gilgo Beach serial killer, Rex Heuermann, in the form of a $1 million payday. As allegations go, she's signed a contract with the Peacock Network to be followed around and put together some sort of documentary of the things that are happening in her world, to say the least. Joining us to discuss, Shavaun Scott, psychotherapist and author. I saw this news. I was kind of shocked, kind of not. It seems kind of par for the course for bad decision making. Or
Yeah.
is it bad decision making? The optics look pretty bad, especially if you're a victim family and you see, oh, the wife is making $1 million in the middle of all of this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks horrible. It looks horrible. And it also throws in the first place my mind went is to what extent is she now following a script?
Hmm.
Is because there's a financial incentive. People change their behavior when there's a financial incentive.
Yeah,
So, to what extent is her showing up in court, smiling at him, any other kinds of visits that she has? Is this all just for the purpose of the documentary? And what is reality here? And I think that's one of the problems with having this kind of payout for, you know, supposedly telling the true story. It's probably not the true story. It also made me wonder, because she consistently seems to be making such terrible decisions, to what extent is she got some mental health problems here? It's not looking good on her end at all.
no, without a doubt. I mean, is that kind of what is part of at play here? Though, is this someone who has been removed from reality for quite some time, far prior to Rex Heuermann having these accusations made against him? I'm just wondering how much of a bizarro world this woman has been living in for quite some time. And while these actions now to us seem kind of crazy and pretty out there and extreme and deaf to the optics of what's going on around her, I do wonder if we were to take a deeper dive, if we would have seen a lot more of this type of behavior before any of this even happened.
Yeah, it feels to me, just kind of going on a gut level, that there's a lot wrong. And her thinking may not be very grounded in reality and maybe hasn't been for years. And is that because there's a history of trauma, or does she have other mental health conditions going that allowed Rex to get away with a lot of, awful behavior that we suppose it's possible if he's guilty he got away with a lot of things that she just didn't see. And so there could be layers of things wrong with her that we don't know about.
Sure.
And again, why isn't she being questioned more closely? Has she been? She certainly wasn't initially. The filing for divorce immediately after his arrest, that made sense. I think we
Yeah.
all could go, yeah, if I were in her shoes, I would do that.
Sure.
But what's happening now, I think it's harder for, fairly normal people to go, yeah, I'd be taking the million and be doing this documentary. I think that's just, it comes off bad.
One of her attorneys has even stated recently that she believes that her husband is innocent, and she needs to see these things for herself. It wasn't just the comment of she needs to see these things for herself, but some, I guess, a change of heart. We've never really heard her completely say we think he's guilty, but the fact that she filed for divorce within 7 days kind of made us think maybe she thinks that he's guilty.
Right.
Maybe a change of heart here. Has time made the heart grow fonder, or is it a $1 million check from NBC Universal and Peacock to say, "Hey, we're going to follow you around. Let's make this dramatic."
Yeah, I hate to be cynical, but I think it has more to do with the $1 million check. That would be my guess. That, there's been a suggestion that if you go in with this assumption of his innocence and then you go through the trial and all the drama and we talk to you about all of this and it feels scripted and it feels off and artificial.
Is there ever a way where, in a world, that this would be okay for her to take $1 million to be followed around? Let's play it in the world that she truly know absolutely nothing about Rex Heuermann. even though she lived with him and was married to him for however many plus years. And the allegations, of course, are there that maybe she did know about some of these things, according to John Ray and other people. But say all that's not true. Say she literally had her head in the sand, completely clueless that these things were going on around her, however difficult that may seem to
Yeah.
be. She is a victim in that sense here as well. But even being a victim, even if you are unaware of your spouse's actions, you did find them out now. There's a lot of people that are hurting and are very much happy that something is going on here. Someone has been arrested where it's okay for her to take that $1 million, and people can look at this as well. She's a victim too. She needs money. Um, is it ever okay?
Yeah, and that really gets into that ethics area. I can't imagine, as I always say, I try to put myself in other people's shoes and imagine what would it
Yeah.
be like to be them. And I guess if she's not looking at any sort of future where she can work and support herself and help her children, which is certainly possible that she may not be employable at this point,
Hmm.
and may never be. I guess it makes sense on that level, but it's just still kind of morally repugnant, and I think most people would be looking for other solutions other than taking $1 million, which in truth, depending on perspective, is not all that much money. It would buy you about a quarter of a house in certain parts of California,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
it's not like she's got the 200 million and is going to be rolling in dough forever, but
Yeah.
yeah, a case could be made that the lady does not function really well. She's never going to be able to support herself, and she's just desperate. So, you
Well, we
know,
did see also in this, and it makes me wonder about her own counsel that she's hired, that they will be profiting handsomely from
yes,
this as well.
yes.
I believe in the terms of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, 400,000 to her attorney, I believe is what I read, and 200,000 to the kid's attorney. They
So
have an attorney.
that leaves 400,000 left for Asa. Is that
No, that was in addition to her
in
million.
addition to the
In
million?
addition, yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought it
yeah.
was all coming out of
So
that same pot.
right. So that made me concerned as
Hmm.
well, because she's probably taking advice, and that,
Yeah.
again, where are the ethics
Well,
when you
yeah.
throw money around?
And there are ethics that are involved. There's laws even that are involved in things like this. The name of the law escapes me at this moment in time, but it's the same way O.J. Simpson couldn't profit off of a book,
Right.
which he attempted to do years ago. It's that same sort of principle. Granted, Asa is a separate individual than Rex Heuermann, but what is stopping her from taking this $1 million and funding his defense? I'm assuming that's where probably a lot of it, at least in
Mhm.
their mind right now, is intending to go. Does that not violate something? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's a gap in the law that, yes, it's wonderful that a, convicted murderer can't write a book and then make millions off the book, but the spouse can,
Hmm.
so it again, it doesn't
Yeah,
feel right.
it all feels icky,
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those you look at it and like, well, maybe after this is all done, if you want to tell your story, cool. I'm sure there'd be an opportunity for it, but
right,
in the
right.
middle of all of this.
In the middle of it, it just I mean, it's so sensational.
Mhm.
Of course, it's gonna get a lot of attention, and I'm sure the Peacock Network is gonna profit from it, but
Yeah.
that just gives it another layer of ick.
It does. Another way that I was looking at it though is this, and it's kind of what I've been calling like the jinx factor, the Robert Durst case. A lot came out in that documentary that did not come out in court. It ended up leading him back to court. It ended up leading to his own conviction. Um, I'm wondering if this is going to do that, if this is going to open those doors, because it's not someone sitting down with a prosecutor or someone sitting down with an investigator. It's at home. It's the Peacock camera crew.
Mhm,
What could
mhm,
possibly go wrong?
mhm.
I'm wondering if investigators are kind of salivating at this to a certain extent, going, yeah, you go do that. And then we're going to
Mhm.
subpoena all of your footage.
Exactly.
I mean, not just what makes it on camera, because I'm sure there's agreements
Right,
saying, I would hope there'd be agreements with them stating this is the angle we're taking it, period.
right.
You can't steer us that way. But the cutting room floor, everything that's there, that
Yes.
could be very interesting. And if she does not play her cards right, I mean, this could be very damning for her at the same time.
Yeah, very true, and you would think her attorney would be looking out for her from that point of view too.
Yeah.
It really could go against her in many ways.
But then the attorney also doesn't get the 400,000 or the
Exactly. Yeah.
200,000. So all of it is ick. All of it does not feel
Mhm.
right. It just makes you wonder what's going to happen the next day we get a headline out of this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, it's never, what you would expect
No,
with the Heuermann situation. Yeah, a lot of strange things just layered on strange things.
without a doubt. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you want more of our interview with our guests, be sure to check out our podcast, Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Just search that wherever you download podcasts and press subscribe. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel for the full video version of the interviews as well, under the same name, Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Check it out, subscribe, binge, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.